effects is imbued with the Speedforce. We've got so many stacking movement speed mechanics, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun. You're just zipping and zapping around like bloody Doom Guy, destroying your enemies with the new Mercurios submachine gun from the Stoneblood DLC. So everything you need to know about this build. Drop a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new, and let's just get right into it. Right, so for the skills, pretty straightforward. Most of our points are going to be in the escalation tree. We do, however, have 3 points into Here Comes Trouble tree, and that's simply for hasty fiends here. So because obviously this is a movement speed build, this skill here, 3 points, giving us 15% movement speed and 20% damage reduction. That's why we're taking that, absolutely brilliant. The rest of our points, like I said, in escalation. So first up, we've got guns and needles. These 3 points are optional. I do like it in here just because it lets us trigger our movement speed more often. You can swap these out for something else. These were the last 3 that I had left, but like I said, you can swap these out. So on kill, we're going to get 21% of our rep kit cooldown back, so when you're killing loads of ads and mobs, it's really good. We've got 5 points into leech and attunement. The gun that we're using, the primary gun, is kinetic, so we're always going to have this active. It's just really nice to have the lifesteal and the reload speed. So we've got 4 points bonus from our class mod for the 9. We're getting 18% lifesteal and 38% reload speed, and like I said, that'll be permanent, so that's absolutely fantastic. This is the core skill, or one of the core skills of this build, Fiendish Invigoration. So when we use our rep kit, we're going to gain increased movement speed and fire rate for 10 seconds, 30% of each, and that stacks with movement speed effects on the rep kit itself, so it's absolutely bloody brilliant. That's for 5 points. We've got 5 points into Bloodletter for the bleed. This one, absolutely brilliant skill, pretty much always use it with kinetic weapons. 50% chance to do 30% bleed over 4 seconds, stacking up to 20 times. So we're using the stacking rather than one hit mega bleeds with this one. We've got 5 points into Grave Implements, just stacking gun damage. We're not taking the increased stack, so a maximum of 60% gun damage for the 3 stacks. And we've got 5 points into Material Components, but we've got 2 from our class mod, so for 7 we're getting 49% kinetic damage and 28% stats effect damage, so the bleed. For our augment, we're taking Witchy Trigger Finger. This one just to let us stack up the gun damage, so another 45% gun damage at a maximum of 3 stacks. We've got 5 points into Drink Full. We're getting 1 bonus from the class mod again, so this is a stacking fire rate mechanic. So when we deal damage to an enemy, we're going to gain fire rate up to a maximum of 50 stacks. So that should be a 36% fire rate buff when we're at maximum stacks, and you'll start losing them after you've not done damage for a while. So 36% for the maximum stacks there, pretty good. It really helps with the primary weapon that's got a slow fire rate. The rest of the skills are in the right hand tree here, so we've got 5 points into Ars Arcana, so increased skill damage. It affects our action skill, it also affects the bleed as well, so 45% increased damage to the bleed. Absolutely brilliant. Follow up to that, we've got Essence Leech. We're going to gain another 10% lifesteal, doubled when our action skill is active, so that will pair up with Leech and Attunement really nicely, so 20% when our action skill is up, and that'll feed into the next skill, which is Blood is Power. We're going to deal bonus kinetic damage with our guns based on lifesteal when our health is full. So if we have our action skill up and we're nice and healthy, it's going to be 38% lifesteal. Without our action skill up, it's 28% lifesteal, and that's times by 3 for bonus kinetic damage. But this only works if you're full health, so really good skill when it's actually active. And that's all the skills, so pretty straightforward, all about guns, kinetic damage and bleed, but the key skill being the Fiendish Invigoration to proc our movement speed. And for our capstone, we've chosen Heart Piercer. That's the only one that we can choose based on our skill layout. So Eldritch Blast is now going to sacrifice health, but can pierce enemies, so it's really good for stacking up Witchy Trigger Finger, and it's going to gain bonus damage based on health consumed. We ideally don't want it to consume health, because then it doesn't allow us to get maximum benefit out of Blood is Power, so it's just really good in stacking Witchy Trigger Finger, to be honest. But that's the capstone that we've chosen. So the main component is the Mercurios submachine gun. So this is one of the new guns from the Stone Demon DLC. The one that we have here has actually got some pretty damn good rolls on it. I would like a Jacobs version, but I've not been fortunate enough to find it. So if you can get a Jacobs one, then you might do a lot more damage. But so the one we have here has got the zip rockets under barrel, which is actually pretty good as well. But this one you can actually find from Chisel Bella. So Chisel Bella is one of the new bosses. So we're in the Demon's Domain cave, and it's the first one you come across, the first optional boss, so it's up here on the map. Weirdly it's not marked, but just after you kind of reach a kind of branch here, you just go left and Chisel Bella's in here, and she'll drop the Mercurios for you. It's got a 21% chance on Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 or a 30% chance on Big Encore. And that's the only gun that you need, so any other guns will work, but it all revolves around this because this scales with your movement speed. So that's why you only need the one gun here, because that's all we're going to be using, and it's absolutely fantastic. For your rep kit, you've got two choices here, so if you can get a Warpaint or a shiny Warpaint with the movement speed roll, very specific, so I haven't been fortunate enough to find it. So the shiny Warpaint drops from the Meathead Riders, so in Cuspid Climb of the Terminus range, it's the Meathead Riders are right here, and that has a 21% chance on Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 or a 30% chance on Big Encore. Like I said, you'll need it with the movement speed trait, so the one that we have here is the Triple Bypass, which is a really good alternative. Probably just as good, the only thing is it won't give you as much movement speed because the shiny Warpaint comes with movement speed by default. That's why we would prioritise that one, but like I said, been unfortunate enough to find it. Triple Bypass here, this one drops from Backhive. Backhive's in the Dissected Plateau of the Fade Fields. You can find him down here in the cave, so he's right outside Zadra's backup plan in the cave, the Auger Mine, the claim, and you'll go there and kill him for the Triple Bypass. You're specifically looking for the speed trait that gives you movement speed on use for 10 seconds. That's essential for this build to scale the damage with the Mercurios. For the Ordnance, we've chosen the Sho Kunai, so again, all about movement speed. This one's nice in that it gives you stacking movement speed on a consecutive hit, and you get 7 of them. So if you've got anything that increases Ordnance speed, this can really help out, but by itself, if you've got 7 stacks of this, you're getting 70% movement speed from your Ordnance alone, which is just absolutely fantastic. The Sho Kunai drops from Bio Bulkhead. Bio Bulkhead is the boss in the fort over on the right hand side of the Dissected Plateau. You just work your way in here, and he's the one at the end there, and it's got a 15% chance to drop on Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 or a 30% chance on Big Encore. And the last piece of dedicated gear you need is a good shield. We've chosen a armor shield because the armor shields have the opportunity to drop with the knockback trait. This one here is the Onion, and it's got 30%. I believe it can go up to 50%. We do have a 50% one here, but it's locked to the wrong firmware, so we're actually rocking this one here. This one's got knockback, so 30% movement speed on armor segment break, and when it's fully depleted, it's going to give us 18% movement speed. It's 4.5% movement speed with each broken sector as well, so still giving us quite a bit, but not quite a maximum roll here. The Onion drops from Sludgemaw, who's in Idolator's Noose of the Fade Fields. Sludgemaw can be found up here on the top kind of left of Idolator's Noose in the Waterworks area. We've talked about this before. Sludgemaw is a super snooze fest to farm because he just likes to hide underground most of the fight, and that's got a 21% chance on Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 or a 30% chance on Big Encore. An alternative to this would be the Completion. The Completion, good armor shield in that when it's full it'll instantly lose an armor segment, so if you can get the Completion with the knockback trait as well, it's going to constantly proc when it gets to full armor, which is really nice. The Completion drops from Battle Wagon. Battle Wagon can be found up north in the Terminus range in the Stoneblood Forest, and he's right here on the map, kind of in the middle of the area, and it's got a 15% chance to drop on Ultimate Vault Hunter 6 or a 30% chance on Big Encore, so either of those shields will do. Super Soldier is also a good alternative, but I do think the armor shields offer more versatility with this build. For your class mod, we've chosen nothing special here, just a purple that complements the build. This one's given us bonus skills in the reload speed and lifesteal, kinetic damage and fire rate, which is all what we're looking for, and the rolls on this are pretty much perfect for what we want as well. 45% submachine gun damage, which the main gun is, 40% kinetic damage, which the main gun does, and 45% skill damage, which affects our bleed, which is absolutely fantastic. Alternatively, you can use one that comes with movement speed. Class mods can roll with movement speed, so we've got this one here. Not quite perfect rolls, but it's still really good, and it's got all the skills that we'd be looking for as well. This one's got 10% gun crit, 20% movement speed, and 45% shotgun damage, which wouldn't help us at all, but you can get one with movement speed. 20% is the maximum there. Overall though, I think this one's a lot better for what we're trying to do here. So just any complementary class mod for this one, and that's just world loot, so you can find it anywhere. And for the enhancement, we've chosen a Hyperion one, and that's because our main gun comes with a Hyperion trait, so again, you just want to complement what you have. If you've got Jacobs, you can use Jacobs. the main gun is Vladov, so you've also got a Vladov as well, so you could use something like extra projectile per shot, something like that. But we've chose Hyperion here just because we wanted to get firmware on it as well, and we couldn't get anything that fit perfectly. It's hard to decide sometimes, but this is the one we've chosen. So 10% health when our gun shield is hit, which is okay. Gun accuracy 50%, that's fantastic. Gun stats affect damage, which affects our bleed 25%, and reload speed 25%. We're also getting a lot of reload speed in the skills as well, so that one's really good for just maintaining constant damage output. And like I said, just choose one that complements your main gun and the subparts that it's got. So that's all the gear that you need. So not a lot of dedicated drops, a lot of it's world loot, so you might need to try find specific things just from anywhere, which can be quite annoying, but you don't need a huge amount, and that's where you can get everything. So we'll touch on the firmware now. For the firmware, you want to prioritise high caliber, so we've got 3 points in here, and for the 3 points you get 25% projectile speed, 10% gun damage, and the third point is really good in that bullets pierce enemies, which is absolutely fantastic, especially for high kinetic and bleed, so it's just going to give it a chance to affect multiple targets, especially if they're all grouped together. And for the other ones, you can either choose like Deadeye, or we've got Real Big Fist, which is absolutely useless to us, but that's just locked to our triple bypass unfortunately, so can't get rid of that because we haven't found a replacement rep kit yet that fits perfectly with this build. So ignore that one. You can choose Skillcraft, so that will affect bleed. We've got 1 point in here. If we could get the second, we probably could take it, but an alternative is Deadeye as well. So, but you really want to prioritise high caliber. That's the firmware. You've got options, and just prioritise high caliber for this one. And for the specializations, we've chosen the 4 here. You'll need 41 points to get what we have here. So we've got Riddle You This, stacking gun damage, so it goes really nicely with our stacking fire rate as well. Works the exact same, 50 stacks, 1% gun damage per stack. In the zone while aiming, so when we aim we're going to gain increased gun damage and critical hit damage. It's really nice. And we've got now with caffeine, reduced action skill cooldown whenever a rep kit's activated, 25%, so when it's on cooldown, if we have the triple bypass, this is going to be a lot more effective. It will just let it come back quickly so we can get our movement speed back up. And this one, probably the most important one, Bullet Train. Vault Hunter can now hit fire while sprinting, and gun damage is increased the faster that we move. So I don't know the conversion, how this works, but we're getting 15% gun damage when walking. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot more the faster we're moving, but I can't figure out how it works. I just know it does more damage, and it's really goddamn good. So definitely really good with this build. It's basically made for it. So that's the specializations, and that wraps up all the build here. So hopefully this has been helpful. Pretty easy, really fun. Definitely recommend giving this one a go. It's absolutely fantastic, just zipping and zooming about like Barry Allen, the Flash, you know. Imbued with the Speedforce, absolutely hilarious fun. Drop a like if you have enjoyed this one, subscribe if you're new here for more Borderlands content coming soon. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Wow.